His character is equal parts despicable and lovable.
Seen it once, don't remember when. Think it's time to watch it again. Follow, subscribe, stay up to date. Episodes drop the last Friday. It's the Matt, forgot that. It's the Matt, forgot that. It's the Matt, forgot that podcast.
And welcome to the Matt Forgot That podcast, the place to recollect and reminisce. I'm your host, Matt Seroski, filmmaker, film fan. Each episode, I'm going to rewatch and review a movie or TV pilot that I've seen before but don't quite remember. It could be a blockbuster, critic's choice, or cult classic. To join in on the conversation, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Matt Seroski. You can subscribe to my YouTube page where I'll post videos and clips from the show. If you have any opinions on what I've discussed, or want to share your own trip down memory lane, use the hashtag MattForgotThat on social. Before we start, this is the final episode in Season 3 of the Matt Forgot That podcast. We'll be returning next year on Friday, January 31st. Until then, I hope everyone has a very happy new year. School closings during the winters in the 1980s were a significant event for students, parents, and communities. Before the widespread use of the internet, social media, and apps, these closures were announced in a much slower, more traditional manner. The primary ways of hearing about school cancellations were radio and television. Local broadcasts would often read aloud the long list of towns and whether the school was open or not in that district. If your municipality was listed in the back end of the alphabet and you missed it in the first go-around, you'd have to wait for another 20 minutes for the newscasters to go through it all again. But nothing was more exciting than to hear them utter the words closed. I don't think I've experienced that level of euphoria in my life since. Then you get bundled up in your heaviest clothes, put on your freaky freezers, and all the kids from the neighborhood would be outside building snowmen, having a snowball fight, go sledding in the middle of the street, or digging out an ice fort. After hours of exerting energy, you'd head inside, take off the thermals, and warm up with some Campbell's chicken soup. On to the main attraction. Each review will end with a ranking out of 5 stars. 1 star is skip it, 2 stars watch at your own risk, 3 stars standard fare, 4 stars worth checking out, and 5 stars must see. Now, if I give a title 5 stars, it doesn't mean I'm comparing it to Casablanca, Jaws, or Seinfeld. I rank titles based on other movies or TV series in that genre and at that time period. On this episode of the podcast, I'm rewatching and reviewing Scrooged from 1988. It was directed by Richard Donner, pioneering director, producer, and writer, whose career spanned more than 5 decades. After breaking through with the supernatural horror The Omen in 1976, he helmed comic book adaptation Superman, bringing a sense of humanity and gravitas to the character of Clark Kent and his alter ego, played by Christopher Reeve, skillfully blending the spectacle and emotion, setting the tone for modern superhero films. Donner's versatility was evident in his diverse body of work, ranging from the beloved adventure film The Goonies and the high-octane Lethal Weapon franchise, to the fantasy drama Radio Flyer and comedy western Maverick. His influence on blockbuster filmmaking and genre storytelling is immeasurable, and his legacy endures in the continued success of the franchises he helped shape. The screenplay was co-written by Mitch Glazer, who scribed comedy mystery Often Running, romantic drama Great Expectations, and holiday special A Very Merry Christmas, and Michael O'Donoghue, who penned episodes of Saturday Night Live between 1975 and 1986. It's based on the novella A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, author of classics A Tale of Two Cities, Great Expectations, Bleak House, David Copperfield, Nicholas Nickleby, and Oliver Twist. Bill Murray is an iconic actor, writer, and comedian who's established himself as one of the most distinct figures in Hollywood. Known for his dry wit, impeccable timing, and ability to balance humor with deep emotional nuance, Murray has carved out a unique space in the world of film, effortlessly transitioning from slapstick comedy to more introspective and dramatic roles. His career in comedy started when his brother, Brian Doyle Murray, invited him to join improvisational troupe The Second City in Chicago. He moved to New York and was brought on to comedy program The National Lampoon Radio Hour by John Belushi, working alongside Gilda Radner, Chevy Chase, and Richard Belzer. In 1977, he joined the cast of Saturday Night Live and remained a member for 4 seasons. He portrayed Nick, a hopelessly out-of-date lounge singer who performed cheesy renditions of popular songs and infamously provided lyrics for the Star Wars theme. His first starring role on the big screen was in the comedy Meatballs. It was followed with a string of box office hits with golf comedy Caddyshack, army comedy Stripes, and satirical comedy Tootsie. But with the release of Ghostbusters in 1984, the landmark film solidified his status as one of the biggest comedic stars of the 1980s. As the sarcastic and lovable Dr. Peter Venkman, Murray delivered a performance that combined wit, charm, and perfect comedic timing. He made a cameo in the musical Little Shop of Horrors as masochist dental patient Arthur Denton and played himself in She's Having a Baby. He returned to the role of Dr. Venkman in Ghostbusters 2, before portraying the titular character in What About Bob? In Groundhog Day, Murray played a cynical weatherman who finds himself stuck reliving the day over and over and over again. He was cast in 2 sports flicks, Kingpin and Space Jam, before starting to transition to more dramatic roles. His turn in Lost in Translation showcased his depth and sensitivity, earning widespread acclaim and his first Academy Award nomination for Best Actor in a Leading Role. Starting with Rushmore, he began working with director Wes Anderson and have maintained a long-standing and fruitful collaboration in Hollywood. Murray's career has been marked by his willingness to take risks, choose projects that challenge him, and create his own path in the industry, often focused on formulaic success. His trademark deadpan humor, charm, and ability to evoke both laughter and empathy have made him an enduring presence in film. Scrooged also features Karen Allen, John Forsythe, John Glover, Bobcat Goldthwait, Robert Mitchum, Alfre Woodard, and Anne Ramsey. This is what I remember. The opening scene. It includes the latest programming from IBC, with cameos by $6 Million Man Lee Majors, crooner Bob Goulet, MASH alum Jamie Farr, comedian Buddy Hackett, thespian John Houseman, the Solid Gold Dancers, and gold medal gymnast Mary Lou Retton. The Ghosts. The casting of David Johansen and Carol Kane as the Ghost of Christmas Past and Present, respectively, were interesting and inspired. I'm not sure who played the Ghost of Christmas Future, but I think it was a costumed character. Now I'm heading off to rewatch the movie. So let's jump into it. This is what I forgot. Frank Cross is a cold-hearted television executive who prioritizes ratings and profits over kindness and compassion. He is notorious for his ruthlessness, especially during the holiday season, when he subjects his staff to grueling work hours, instead of allowing them to enjoy Christmas with their families and friends. On Christmas Eve, Frank is visited by 3 ghosts, representing the past, present, and future, who take him on a surreal journey through time to show him the consequences of his selfishness and the potential future that awaits him if he doesn't change. As the night progresses, Frank begins to confront the flaws in his life, including his broken relationships and the toll his actions have taken on those around him. Scrooged is a modern comedic retelling of Charles Dickens' classic novella, whose story many are familiar with the addition of Murray's witty dialogue and zany antics. Here's a quote without context. "That's the one good thing about regret. It's never too late. You could always change tomorrow if you want to." Set in the fast-paced world of 1980s television, Scrooged is a perfect blend of dark humor, slapstick comedy, and holiday sentiment, all anchored by Bill Murray's unforgettable performance. His character is equal parts despicable and lovable, which is a credit to Murray's balance of sarcasm and sincerity. It's a role that allows him to stretch his comedic muscles while offering glimpses of the vulnerability and loneliness beneath his abrasive exterior. The film also benefits from its stellar supporting cast, which includes Karen Allen as Claire, Frank's long-lost love, whose presence provides a grounding emotional anchor for the story. Her chemistry with Murray brings an unexpected warmth to the film, balancing the outrageous antics with a sense of real human connection. The film's plot follows the familiar trajectory of A Christmas Carol, but Scrooged adds its own irreverent twists. While it can be chaotic at times, it's this unpredictability that makes it such a joy to watch. It's a holiday film that doesn't adhere to the typical conventions of Christmas cheer. It's messy and edgy, but in the end, delivers a genuine message about the importance of love, generosity, and the true spirit of Christmas. Now for a little trivial trivia. The leader of the Street Musicians, insulted by Bill Murray, is Paul Schaefer, bandleader of Late Night and Late Show with David Letterman, and co-writer of the Weather Girls hit single, It's Raining Men. Scrooge was produced by Mirage Productions and distributed by Paramount Pictures. It was filmed in Paramount Studios in Los Angeles, the Seagram Building, Atlantic Grill, Court Square, and Queens in New York, and Toronto, Ontario, Canada. The cinematography was captured by Michael Chapman, whose filmography includes psychological drama, Taxi Driver, concert film, The Last Waltz, crime thriller, Hardcore, sci-fi sequel, Ghostbusters 2, and comedy, Kindergarten Cop. He was nominated for 2 Academy Awards for Best Cinematography of Raging Bull and The Fugitive. It was edited by father and son duo Frederick Steinkamp and William Steinkamp, who worked on teen comedy, Adventures in Babysitting, gambling drama, Havana, and legal thriller, The Firm. They were nominated for 2 Academy Awards for Best Film Editing of Tootsie and Out of Africa. The soundtrack featured songs by Van Morrison, Natalie Cole, Kool Moe Dee, Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, Dan Hartman, and Denise Lopez. The duet of Put a Little Love in Your Heart by Al Green and Annie Lennox reached number 9 on the US Hot 100 and number 2 on the US Adult Contemporary charts. It was produced by her Eurythmics partner, David A. Stewart. The runtime is 1 hour 40 minutes. It had a budget of $32 million and grossed a little over $100 million at the box office. It was nominated for 1 Oscar at the 1989 Academy Awards for Best Makeup by Thomas R. Berman and Barry Dryban Berman. On the Ski Index, I give it 3.5 out of 5 stars. If you've seen Scrooged and have opinions on the movie, let me know what you think using the hashtag #MattForgotThat. Moving right along, each episode, I'm going to post throwback clips that I think people should watch. It could be movie trailers, music videos, interviews, or something completely random. Search for my YouTube page and there'll be a playlist called Matt Forgot That Playback. Howard Jones is a British singer, songwriter, and musician whose career has spanned more than 4 decades, earning him a place as one of the most innovative and enduring figures in pop music. Best known for his synthesizer-driven sound, insightful lyrics, and infectious melodies, Jones became an emblem of 1980s pop while continuing to evolve as an artist in the years that followed. His debut album, Humans Lib, was released in 1984 and claimed the #1 spot on the UK Albums Chart. Behind the strength of 4 singles, each reaching the top 20, New Song peaked at number 3, What Is Love at 2, Hide and Seek at 12, and Pearl in the Shell at 7. In 1984, Jones released the song Like to Get to Know You Well, which became an unofficial anthem of the Summer Olympic Games in Los Angeles. It reached number 4 on the UK Singles Chart, and over 20 years later would appear in the video game Grand Theft Auto: Vice City Stories. His sophomore album, Dream into Action, featured the single No One Is to Blame. After the success of his previous singles, it was re-recorded with Phil Collins and Hugh Padgham, producing a more radio-friendly version. The strategy paid off, with the tune becoming Jones's biggest hit in the US, reaching number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. He released his 3rd album, Cross That Line, which didn't fare well on the charts, but the song Everlasting Love became his 2nd #1 hit on the US Adult Contemporary charts. Similarly, his next effort, In the Running, failed to break onto the charts, but the single Lift Me Up became a top 10 hit. A greatest hits compilation album was released and certified silver in the UK. Howard Jones continues to record and tour consistently. He played keyboards for Ringo Starr in his all-star band. He's a member of the board of directors for the Featured Artists Coalition, a nonprofit that protects the rights of musicians. His legacy as a pioneering figure in electronic pop and influence on younger generations of musicians and fans is palpable. and his songs continue to find new audiences in TV shows, films, and commercials. I've selected a couple of his biggest hits. They're all available in the Matt Forgot That playback playlist on YouTube. Check it out. Now it's time for the recommendation. Yes, that's the word recommendation with Matt in the middle. I'm going to end each podcast with my own recommendation of a movie or TV series. Today I'm talking about Voltron, Defender of the Universe. Set in a distant galaxy, the series revolves around a battle between the forces of good, led by a group of young heroes who pilot mechanical lions that unite to form the giant robot Voltron, and the evil Drool Empire, headed by the tyrannical King Zarkon. The central group of protagonists include the 5 pilots, Keith, the determined yet hot-headed leader who controls the Black Lion, Lance, the team's marksman and second-in-command, who leads the Red Lion, Pidge, the youngest member and tech genius, who drives the Green Lion, Hunk, the strong, reliable mechanic, who operates the Yellow Lion, and Princess Allura, who leads the Blue Lion, taking over from Sven. The team operates from a hidden space station called the Castle of Lions, where they receive guidance from a wise mentor, Koran. It was created through the collaboration between World Events Productions and Japan's Toei Animation, combining elements from the Japanese anime series Beast King Go Lion and Armored Fleet de Rugger 15. The series emphasizes themes of teamwork, loyalty, and courage as the team works together to face overwhelming odds. The heroes not only battle external forces, but also grow through their individual challenges. The recurring motif of combining lions to form Voltron highlights the importance of unity and collaboration. Voltron, Defender of the Universe, became one of the defining animated series of the 1980s, combining mecha robots, space battles, and strong character development. The series ran for 3 seasons, producing a total of 124 episodes from 1984 to 1985. Its influence has endured through various reboots and adaptations, including Voltron: The Third Dimension, Voltron Force, and Voltron: Legendary Defender. A live-action adaptation starring Henry Cavill is set to release in 2025. Voltron was all the rage in my childhood. One of my favorite Christmas presents was getting the 5 lions that you could put together to form Voltron. And it was a legit action figure. It was like 3 feet. I could wrestle that thing. I do plan a full rewatch in my spare time. That's all for this edition of Matt Forgot That. Thanks for listening to me reminisce. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Matt Seroski. You can subscribe to my YouTube page where I'll post videos and clips from the show. If you have any opinions on what I've discussed, or want to share your own trip down memory lane, use the hashtag MattForgotThat on social. Head over to mattseroski.com for all the latest news and updates, and come back next time for the rewatch and review. He portrayed Nick, a hopelessly out-of-date Townge singer. A live-action adaptation starring Henry Cavill is set to release in 2015. Oh, I guess we're going back in time. Alright, 2025. Combining elements from the Japanese anime series Beast King Lion Go Lion. School's closings, that's new. The cinematography was captured by Michael Chapman, whose filmography includes Oh, wow, that was ridiculous.